Donk Nation, Jackson, Janet's greetings, and welcome to a Daily Dose of Donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you some nonsensical Steelers talk. And Gingy, I said it was all nonsense, the Steelers making a trade for a couple Miami superstars. But it happened. Gingy, welcome. Off-season news. Steelers potentially pushing themselves all in while giving up a player a lot of fans love. Gingy, break down the trade and what you think of it.
Holy smokes, Gingy in the house. Football in the offseason. Donkey, that's some big news. We're losing a very household name in Minkah Fitzpatrick, sending him back to the Miami Dolphins from when he came. In return, getting a cornerback who, Donkey, I sure boy hope he gets along with DK. Better just keep him and DK, kind of aside from each other would be my thought. And an interesting weapon on offense along with that, Jonnu Smith being reunited with his old offensive coordinator.
All-pro tight end coming off his best season, 800 receiving yards last year. I believe he was either number 1 or number 2 on a high-paced Miami offense in terms of receiving, Gingy.
And he was straight production, too. Like, he was the guy who broke the plane of the goal.
First downs, touchdowns. I think it's something like 63% of his receptions resulted in first downs. Big question here. Jonnu Smith coming to be tight end 1 or tight end 2?
Tight end X. Is he always going to light up at tight end? Is the question.
I don't know.
Wide receiver 2.
I will say this. Both him and Pat Freiermuth leave a lot to be desired in the blocking category. But I like this trade on multiple reasons because we're getting, to me, what good football is, and I'll get to that later, or modern football. But there's also the swap. We gave them a 5th rounder in next year or the year after, and they gave us a 7th, right? That completes the whole trade. We get Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, 7th rounder. They get Minkah Fitzpatrick in a 5th rounder. Gingy, you know how I feel about Minkah. I've always felt safeties are super replaceable. As a matter of fact, there's still 5 free agent safeties who had more turnovers each of the last 2 years than Minkah Fitzpatrick out there, including some big names like it's Justin Simmons, I believe, a huge name who's still out there. I have to say, a lot of people are saying they hate this trade because we're giving up Minkah. Man, what good, and this is just a question for you, you can defend Minkah if you want. What good is a deep center field safety who's had 1 interception over the last 2 seasons? And people are going to state to me how he's a great tackler. Do y'all not remember him getting facepalmed by Derrick Henry in the playoffs? Because I sure as hell do.
Yeah, it's hard not to get facepalmed by Derrick Henry, Donkey. But at the same time, all right, we were talking about this before. Minkah Fitzpatrick last year was not the Minkah Fitzpatrick that I think that everybody in Pittsburgh holds near and dear in their heart. The first 3 seasons he was in Pittsburgh.
2.5, 3 years, yep.
Yep, and in that, if he was that guy in that trade, we got fleeced. But you know what, Donkey? There's a real question on whether he's that guy 2 years removed from that with a couple of very low, mediocre seasons.
Now, Gingy, my counter argument to you there is going to be, if you're going to say he's going to regain this form from 2-3 years ago, then it's a little audio mess up here, so we're going to try to continue from the same spot we were at. But, Gingy, if we're going to go ahead and say Minkah Fitzpatrick from 2 years ago is the guy that we're trading away, right? The Pro Bowl level guy, the guy who actually forces turnovers, isn't it fair to get a guy who's around the same age and is only 1 year removed from a really elite top 10 in his position move in Ramsey and say, if we were trading away elite Minkah because of 2 years ago, then we are getting elite Ramsey. And Gingy, I don't know about you, but an elite shutdown corner to me is so much more valuable than an elite back-end safety, as those guys just to me seem more replaceable with all the free agent names that are out there. I don't know if you heard me mention them before in the audio here or if that was part of it that cut out. But Gingy, to me, just 1 for 1, that trade right there. An aging Minkah, and I know Ramsey's a little more expensive. An aging Ramsey. Clearly the Steelers weren't going to re-sign Minkah. And a lot of people think Ramsey might move to safety, which is so I hate that part of the trade. He needs to be a corner here. But Let's just say they both regain their form. Shut down corner more valuable than back end safety, Gingy?
I think so. In today's NFL, if we're talking about stopping drives going out, you can, I think, more easily play away from a safety than you can a corner in most occasions, especially if you're moving that corner to line up with the other team's one-on-one guy. We'll see how he goes alongside Slay, JPJ. Agreed, Donkey. Haven't seen that version of Minka in quite some time. One pick over the last 2 years. Can't really explain whether it's utilization or some sort of personal individual issue, but I think overall satisfied with the trade, getting both a piece on offense and defense for just a piece on defense.
That piece on offense could be a huge upgrade too. Let's not downplay the Johnny Smith part. But Gingy, the one thing I really want to, I guess, get into here is it also seems it's a lot easier to find elite play from safety. I mean, just look at last year. The Steelers bring in Deshaun Elliott, and that dude was probably the best player in the Steelers secondary all season, and we signed him up. What, $6 million for 2 years? Because he was on that unwanted scrap heap type of guy, fringe starter level. He comes here and just looks elite. There's some guys who I well respect who've talked about this ad nauseum. If you want to go look them up, some in PFF, some in ESPN, look up articles about how Deshaun Elliott was actually, in fact, the best safety from the Steelers last year, and they'll show you plays in there and they give you big breakdown. It's very similar to what Kurt Warner used to do at quarterbacks play if you're into that type of stuff. So maybe the Steelers see, hey, if Ramsey rebounds, that's a huge thing. We're adding a piece to our offense in Jonnu Smith. And we can easily replace the production Minka's given, even if we go 3 years ago, the production he's averaged over the last 3 seasons. So I really feel like this move was an all-in for this year, which to me now this team has to be successful because you're pushing for this team to win. These are not moves to draft a quarterback next year because Johnny Smith would be then like 33 before the quarterback has 2 seasons in. Same with Jalen Ramsey. But Gingy, there is one part of this trade we haven't talked about yet, and I think it's the most important one in terms of why I'm happy about it. Do you have any idea what that could be?
I don't know, Donkey.
Gingy, look at all these off-season moves. Clearly, we're going to be more pass-heavy on offense, which is what I want to begin with. I mean, you bring in Johnny Smith, you bring in DK Metcalf. Those are moves to pass the football, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
But what we're overlooking here is the Steelers have been one of the heaviest zone coverage teams in football the last decade, and that's just not how football's won anymore. Gingy, if you have a great pass rush, how do you complement that on the back end?
Oh, you got to have guys in space getting ready to take advantage of mistakes.
You have to have press coverage, right? So that the quarterback can't get rid of the ball in 2 seconds, right? The same feeling there, right? You got to jam those guys. You have to play, I don't know. You ever heard of this thing? I know you're a Steelers fan. I know you just have the black and gold ginger goggles, so I get to have a little fun here. But Gingy, you ever heard of this thing called press coverage?
Where do they do that at?
Oh, just about every other NFL team that has a good pass rush, right? Let's talk Philadelphia. Let's talk San Francisco. Let's talk Baltimore. Let's talk Buffalo, right?
Well, okay.
Okay. JPJ, pretty good press corner. Darius Slay, really good press corner. Jalen Ramsey, even last year on his down year, pretty elite when it came to press coverage. The Steelers seem to be making a fundamental change, not just on the offensive side to play more modern, but on the defensive side to play more modern. And maybe more importantly, they're getting guys in here who, while they are aging, and it could blow up right in our face if they all lost a step right. Like, no doubt.
Uh-oh.
If these guys are all slow, Slay and Ramsey continue their decline, we're in big trouble.
Big time.
But they kept JPJ. They got guys like Beanie Bishop. They like guys like Corey Trice as backups. They bring in the Slay, the Ramsey. It really feels like we're going to go a modern press coverage, and there should be two things that happen from that, Gingy. There should be a lot of splash in the secondary because of that pass rush, And you should see sack numbers go off the charts if these guys can keep up the pressure rates they've had over the last 3 years. It feels like this defense is modernizing and moving away from that Mike Tomlin stay back cover two thing he grew up in, Dungy disciple. It feels like we're getting personnel to play the press coverage. That makes me really happy. But Gingy, I'm really nervous because it is Mike Tomlin who has all these things, and we know damn good and well he likes to stick a frickin' square peg in a round hole. Do you think we're going to modernize this defense, or do you think Tomlin just got some guys that he likes and they're going to play Tomlin's system?
Baby steps, Donkey. Baby steps. I'm not sure if we're revolutionizing the system, but before we move too far off the safety, you talk a lot about a lot of good projected, easy, replaceable safety play. Right now, the depth chart says Juan Thornhill. Is that the correct for that spot, or what? Is that dependable, easy, free safety play, or?
I would love an upgrade from him, but if you look at his coverage numbers the last 2 years, they're very, very similar to Minkah Fitzpatrick. He tackles as well as Minkah Fitzpatrick does. He's not the guy I would love seeing in there, but he's not terrible, right? He's starter level NFL starter level safety. I don't think he has top end potential like some of the easier pickups you could have. I mean, just off the top of my head, remaining free agents out there. Shoot, I can't think of the dude. The dude from Indianapolis who's 26 years old and has started 4 years at Indianapolis. You have I can't think of his name now. Justin Simmons, who I named earlier. Or hell, you could bring home a Pitt kid and Jordan Whitehead, who has very similar numbers. And really, the big difference between Whitehead and Minkah early in their careers was Whitehead couldn't get interceptions and Minkah got a lot. But if you look over the last 2 years, very similar guys. So the reason I say it's easy to replace is just off the top of my head, I can think of 3 replacements who are still available at this point in the year. Not to mention guys who might get cut later in rosters. Some older guys who are still available too. Mm-hmm. Corners moving to safety isn't a rare thing to see. So I'm not going to come out here and say I hate Thornhill because I know he's had some good years in the past. His last 2 years in Cleveland didn't work out well, but that could be a Minkah thing like we're saying with Pittsburgh, right? Thornhill didn't work out in Cleveland because he didn't fit the system they were running. Minkah didn't work out in Pittsburgh because of the system they were running. So
allegedly.
So Thornhill is a guy who can be a top 15 safety, right? Minkah's a guy who can be a top 5 safety. Neither one of them played that. Both of them played bottom 20 safety, in my opinion, last year. So I wouldn't hate Thornhill starting, but the thing I hate about penciling in Thornhill as the starter without signing a challenger is, Gingy, our depth. If we go with Thornhill as the starter and no one signed in there, the depth is an undrafted rookie free agent backing up or a career special teamer. You need to add someone else who can start. You have to add someone else who can start.
And I think ultimately that was going to be my next follow-up question after that answer is now that's the hard thing about the trade is because now are we looking for the piece that we just traded away? And I think the answer is yes, we are looking for that piece now.
But then the answer is just as simple because you say this right now. Our safety depth took a hit, right? But if we didn't acquire Jalen Ramsey, who's the next guy to be the starter on the outside? You see, our corner depth sucked too. So it's not like this was an odd trade. What we went from 5 starter level defensive backs to 5 starter level defensive backs. It's just now we have 3 starter level corners and 2 starter level safeties where it was flip-flopped prior to the trade, in my opinion.
Yep, that's fair. That's fair. I hope that we're able to are we looking to do you think we can afford Simmons in that spot?
If he's still available at this point, yes, we have a lot of money out there. Who knows what you're going to get with Watt, but I assume any contract Watt gets is going to make his cap hit for this season probably less. And don't forget, this trade, while we owe more money to Jalen Ramsey than we would have Minkah Fitzpatrick and Jonnu Smith, the thing is, we actually gain cap space for this season. There's a lot of money due in the future, but for this season, we gained cap space in this 2-for-1 trade. And Gingy, I'll say it this way. anytime you can trade one starter for two starters that are equal level, let's just say that. I'm going to call all these guys equal level based off their last season. We just traded one good player for two good players. I think you have to do it, right?
That seems like a reasonable deal.
Yeah. I I
I
love
like it. I like the
everything.
deal overall.
I love everything about it because it feels like this trade was made not only with the idea of improving this team today, like just talent wise, but I love the implications that it could have on the system that will be run going forward. I feel like this was a trade to modernize what the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be. And I understand it's probably only for this year, but dude, we signed Aaron Rodgers. If you're going to sign Aaron Rodgers, you kind of have to push your chips in, right?
Yeah, I think so. And no hate on Minka Fitzpatrick either. Really
He
liked
was
him as a Steeler.
he was a consummate professional here. I called out his lack of play, and as you know, I same thing I did with Najee. I never called out their lack of play because of their who they were, not because I didn't like them, or not because I didn't think they did a good job. I said I think they're fine. The problem was Najee was a first round pick. Fine isn't good enough. Minka Fitzpatrick was the highest paid safety in football. Dude, you can't have one interception over 2 years as the highest paid safety in football. That's just not enough splash for the money you're getting. Never had a problem with the players, always had a problem with either the capital invested in them or the money given to them. Both
You know,
guys wish them nothing but the best.
I'm always looking for more splash.
Heck yeah, dude. And technically, Ramsey
My
had more
favorite.
splash last year. He had a
That's
couple
my
of them.
favorite. They bring that on, then I'll take all that. I'm looking for splash.
For real, that's what it's about at the end of the day. Get in there,
Yep.
get the splash, make these plays, get this team better, and maybe, just maybe, we can have a down year from these upper teams that have been slowly taking a step back, and maybe we can take a bigger step forward than that next tier of competitors, than those Chargers, than them Texans. We take the bigger step forward, and maybe, just maybe, Gingy, I've been talking about it because no one else wants to, and I'm going to will it into reality. Maybe, just maybe, the Steelers win a playoff game this year, and maybe, just maybe, they have a chance at being something special.
That'd be
Maybe.
quite the time. Oh my
Wouldn't it?
goodness.
I mean, Omar Khan just got a new contract because I don't know. Apparently, he's done something spectacular I don't know about. Mike Tomlin's got his job for life. This is the time for both of those men to show they know how to make a roster, build a team, and show success. This is the team that they wanted to go all in with. This team needs to produce. These players need to be put in positions to be successful. Can the Steelers do it, Gingy? That's the question.
Starting to come together on offense. All right, it might not be splashy, but if you get okay, Donkey, this really still hinges on this run game. You got make two tight ends add a lot of different depth to different formations. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you can convince somebody that those guys can actually block. If you can do that, then you might be able to have some trickery in there.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
We'll see. We'll see if we can convince anybody that they're going to block somebody. I don't know who Johnny Smith is in that way. I'm not. I know who Pat Fryermuth is in that way.
He's a bigger, like a wider bodied Pat Firemouth, right? He's terrible at
Okay.
blocking. He does okay in the, and personally, I think the guy who lost his job's Casey Hayward, right? Or
Yeah.
Connor. Yeah. Connor,
Connor.
right? With baby Hayward, I think he lost his job because if you watch a lot of what he did in Atlanta, he did a lot of those shifts to the H back position, So I could see them doing that. I could personally see them running old school I formation football here, Gingy. Don't forget, they brought in a true fullback as an undrafted free agent, something they don't really do that often. Then they trade for a guy like Jonnu Smith. I think you might see a lot of Jonnu Smith lined up in the backfield as a lead blocker type. And Darnell Washington is tight end too, so there's a real blocking threat out there. And I know a lot of people say this might be a terrible thing for Darnell Washington. This might actually lead to a bigger season for him. Because if Johnny Smith's going to be in the backfield with a legit pass catcher, which most of our running backs are now that Najee's gone, you have Firemouth on the other side. Dude, there should be a lot of mismatches where Darnell Washington gets one-on-one. And the Steelers last year struggled on third down moving the chains and struggled in the red zone. Those are two areas Johnny Smith has really excelled in his career. I think this move was done with a purpose. And to me, the biggest thing about this, and the reason I love this trade, is the Steelers managed to go all in on this season, Gingy, without giving up draft capital for a rebuild. That to me is huge.
I like that.
Yeah, without a doubt, that's something you gotta absolutely appreciate. Now, Gingy,
can't mortgage a future, donkey. You know what I mean?
No. Not on an Aaron Rodgers.
It's really about that run game. I'm still sus on can Jalen Warren carry the load?
No.
And is our line anywhere near prepared to support him in doing so? These are the new questions on offense.
Maybe Troy Fontanu. I like the player. He has to
stay healthy.
He has to stay healthy. I love Mason McCormick. I told you I loved him before. Him getting a year worth of starting experience, I think, is good. PFF loves Zach Frazier, so I'm going to stand behind Zach Frazier as a solid guy. He's still a little weak at the point of attack, is my biggest thing. But all in all, solid center, top 10 guy for sure at this point of his career already, which is something good to say about a second-year player. We need Simualu to turn the clocks back a little bit, and I still would like them. There's still a couple fringe starter guys on offensive line we could bring in to compete. We need to bring in one to compete, but I think they really have their eyes on picking up a couple depth guys when rosters get cut, right? See roster trim down, pick up a couple depth guys. I am worried about it, mainly because, dude, I've seen 2 years of Broderick Jones. I loved him coming out of the draft. I love the hype. And I'll tell you right now, our offensive line coach, Meyer, can't develop anything. He sucks at developing players. That's where I'm nervous about. Broderick Jones needs to become, I'm not even going to say a good tackle, but he needs to become a starter-level cat tackle, which is slightly better than what Dan Moore Jr. is, and he was slightly worse last year. Gingy, I'm going to put it right to you. Does Broderick Jones become a starter-level tackle this year?
Where's he lining up at?
Left. He's going to start at left tackle.
Yes.
He does? All right. I hope you're right. I really do, because this team could do some good things if that's the case. Now, Gingy, we still have a big hole at wide receiver number 2. A former wide receiver number 2 of the Pittsburgh Steelers, 26-year-old, 6'4", 240-pound, runs a 4.4 guy out there, said he's ready to make his comeback. He's bigger, faster, and stronger than he's ever been. He's coming off a toe injury that cost him a season. Would you give Chase Claypool, not a guaranteed chance, but would you give him a chance to come play for the Pittsburgh Steelers and see if he can recapture his old days? 800 yards, 9 touchdowns as a rookie. Dude, if we could get that production, we have a wide receiver number 2. Would you do it?
He would. Oh, man, donkey, that's such a risk. No cancers in the locker room, all right?
We have Jalen Ramsey. Hold that phone.
If it was just about his skill on the field. About the skill on the field.
Jalen Ramsey is a cancer and a half.
But that dude.
Aaron Rodgers. Dude. Cancer galore in Pittsburgh. Let it infect the whole body, Gingy. Just let it absorb everything. Run its course and see if we can get one last hurrah, a la Angels in the outfield. Mel Clark, gonna die, but gonna give you one more run, right? Can you take it?
Donkey, you just gotta be careful. Yeah, I'll take it. To be honest with you, I've seen some great play out of Chase Claypool. If we could keep him on somewhat of a leash and just be thankful for an opportunity, I think he could be an asset out there. Goes over the top, donkey.
He's fast. He's big. He can block when he's interested.
See, that attitude problem can be so bad.
Good. Dude, he was not very good at fighting for the football. I'll say that for him. For as big as he was not the best at fighting for the football. But man, the numbers, just if you could get him to replicate even close to that, we might be cooking, man.
I know it. He had production.
Yeah.
That'd be real nice.
It's scary to think about that. Gingy, I think we did a good job talking about the things that are going on here, our excitement for the trade. We'll end with give this trade a grade. We'll start with you, and then we'll do you have any other Steeler or any other topics you want to talk about? So, Gingy, how'd you grade the Minka Fitzpatrick trade?
I grade this trade overall B plus. I think it makes you better now, but boy, it's going to be hard to deal and sustain. I think Ramsey's very expensive.
If we keep him, remember he has no guaranteed money after this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. No guarantees. So it's 20 million if we decide to keep him or something like that, 23. I give it an A minus, and my reason for upgrading a little from where you are, Gingy, is simple. Minka Fitzpatrick was going to be a free agent next year, and they are not going to pay him what he's going to want. So I love it. Move the asset, get a similar asset, and get another asset on offense while only flipping late round picks, which you're just as likely to hit with a seventh rounder as a fifth rounder. So, really, no harm there whatsoever, in my opinion. Gingy, any other topics you want to talk about?
Nope, I don't think so, Donkey. I like that quite a bit. We're moving up on offense. I can see what could be the formulation of an identity. No, just a formulation of an identity of at least knowing what you are. Not about whether you're good or bad, but having an identity. You know what I mean.
That. I respect that. Now, Gingy, this week our list is going to be pretty fun. It's going to be your top 3 days to watch football. So by this, I mean like the start of the preseason, week 1 football. If you have a certain day that you just prefer, if you're a Thursday night, Friday night, Monday night, do you like Thanksgiving football? Do you like Christmas football? How about a New Year's Day game? All of those are the options. You get a pick 3. I'm going to give you a second here to think about it while I tell you that my number 3 pick for the best day to watch football is, of course, it's on my birthday. Every now and then there's a football game on my birthday. It's a little fun. They used to be big playoff games. Now it tends to be at a bye week. But there have been some big playoff games that were played on my birthday. I enjoyed them so much because it's like a little extra present for me. And I'll tell you, Christmas Day came in close just because of the Antonio Brown game against the Ravens. But it did not make my list. It's the runner-up. So, Gingy, number 3 for you. Best day to watch a football game.
Gingy in the house talking about opening day, Donkey. You've been watching training camp. You've been talking all off season. You've been projecting the rookies. Where's everybody at? What's the depth chart? And then that it's still almost it's hot. It's hot football outside. First week of September. It's usually pretty nice, pretty temperate weather. Not necessarily classic football weather, but a really good way to kick off the season. I just like watching opening week football. Everything changes from there, right? But you get that baseline.
You do. And you have all the hope in the world. Gingy, that's my number 2 one. So I don't have to talk about it. Gingy hit most of the things. But my favorite part about it is you have your 4th string, 3rd string preseason darling, and you get to see if they're actually a football player for the first time. Something about me loves watching those young prospective stars get a chance, man. Maybe it's the baseball fan in me. But yeah, everything you said goes double for my number 2, which is opening day. Gingy, what's your number 2?
Number 2, Donkey, maybe a little bit broad, but I enjoy holiday football.
Oh no, you gotta specify which one.
No, you didn't specify that, Donkey. Because listen, at Halloween time you see people dressed up, right? Turkey Day football, can't deny that.
The best football day.
Christmas Eve football. Oh yeah, there's been some good ones for the Steelers there. You mentioned one of them, yes, Donkey.
Yeah, that stretch play, man. I love that shit.
I enjoy holiday football.
If
you're gonna make me pick one, it's Thanksgiving football, but holiday football overall is where I'm at.
All right, well, Gingy's number 2 just went right into my number 1 because apparently Gingy's just one spot behind me. I love, dude, Turkey Day football. Nothing better than me getting to enjoy the indulgence, the gluttony, the deadly sin that I enjoy the most. Stuffing myself not only with the delicious food, but with the football action on the field. And once in a while, it's really good. And once in a while, it makes you really angry, like when the ref can't hear Jerome Bettis. But neither here nor there. Turkey Day, best day to watch football, without a doubt. But Gingy, obviously you don't agree, so you got to let him know.
And number 1, even though this has been punishing for Steelers fans over the last few years, I really like playoff wild card weekend football.
Oh, right.
It's been hurtful for the Steelers, I know, but those are the times where you see those underdogs, those 9-8 teams, those 10-7 teams that just squeak in. Maybe they just got off a 3-game run. Maybe they haven't lost a game since December 1st, and they go up against those juggernauts, the 14-2s, the 15-1s. They're strolling in, they're resting their starters. I really like those games that week because you really feel like anything can happen.
And clearly, sports fans, Gingy meant 15-2. He's just stuck in olden times and forgot we played a 17th game.
Sorry. Did I call him the San Diego Chargers too?
Heck yeah, dude. I still do that all the time. I probably did it. I try to only say Chargers now and Raiders because I'm going to say the wrong city with them. I'm going to do it.
Math is hard.
Yeah, when you grew up in something, that's the way it's always been. And the change isn't ginormous, right? It's subtle. And you're
16
just
like, to 17.
Yeah,
16 to 17.
Change. It gonna get you.
Yeah,
Gingy, I don't know what this says about us as Super Bowl fans, and especially as Steelers fans, that the Super Bowl week didn't make our list.
I know. And like I said, wild card was my number 1, and that's so brutal, Donkey. And I didn't even want to mention it as the Steelers, but you know what I'm talking about, right? When I'm talking about the parody.
Those are the games. Those are some of the games where you can get some crazy matchups going on. Not to mention, it's the only week where you get 6 football games that matter. Like,
beautiful. Triple headers something. You got Saturday football going on. Saturday playoff football.
I see. Saturday playoff football is probably the only time I don't mind Saturday football. So I'll give that. Gingy, any shout outs for this week?
Shout out Minka. Like I said, good player, liked him. We're gonna see how the pieces fall. You know me, I don't do shout outs during the season, but he was that's the first real safety after Troy. Right? Like stand on.
Yeah.
Long time.
That's fair to say. I mean, honestly though, his career was this is what's gonna make you really think weird about it. His Steeler career was only as long as Terrell Edmonds, so kind of a weird thing out there. But yeah, I hear you fully on that. My shout out for this week, you know what? I'm going to shout out Omar Khan for managing to go all in and not give up the future. I really like this move. I really like the direction he's trying to push this team. He still has one more move that needs to be made. There still needs to be a wide receiver 2 added to this football team. I don't care how he feels about Roman Wilson. I don't care about how he feels about Calvin Austin III. There needs to be a guy who can maybe not be a guarantee guy. A Chase Claypool type of challenger, a Gabe Davis type of challenger, a guy who's still young enough and not that far removed from a big season that they bring in. That still has to be priority 1. And if he does that and then adds a swing tackle, dude, I'm going to be loving everything about it. So my shout-out's going to go there. And now I'll let you know I'm the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey. Twitch or Twitter, your daily dose of Donkey of Gingers, where you get this awesome nonsensical stuff. Although we didn't go off the rails this week, so kudos to us. We kept it sensical in the nonsensical. Gingy, let him know.
Mutant Gingy in the house, hanging out, talking football. Still off season, but we are quickly approaching. Donkey can't go nonsensical. Every week we had something to discuss. The Steelers. They're back, baby. Wave them if you got them.
New school.